Hello Coaster friends, it's Adam here from Pause Games and welcome back to Planet Coaster. So if you go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to give us a like down below and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of the content. So where are we? What are we doing? What is this? We are back in one of our old parks. This is Clapboard Studios and this is the park that we made many years ago when the movies pack was first released, and I believe it was around the time the movies pack and the Back to the Future stuff was released, so there's a lot of that in this park, and it's just another one where we're going to revisit and just have a look around. This park was one of my better ones, and it was almost complete. Now there's a couple of areas that we'll go through in a minute that are just needs a little bit more work, but other than that it's basically a complete park. So here we are in the little entrance plaza, heavily inspired by a mixture between Universal Studios and Disney Studios in Paris, this park. So yeah, that's kind of where we're going for with this. Over there, that Hollywood Tour dark ride on the left hand side that you've just seen, I'm not going to do a POV of that in this video. I had a quick look inside it earlier, and none of the billboards are working, and it was very much sort of utilising billboards. So basically it was a little track dark ride that went through a few fake movie scenes. But yeah, it's a ride anyway. So here in the centre of the park, we've got the Backlot Tram Tour. Again, very heavily inspired by Disneyland Paris and the tram tour that used to be in the Studios Park. So in this, we've got a few lots of fake movie props. So these cars and boats are from various PlanCo movies, and there are some little placards on a few of them where we've made up movie names and years and that kind of stuff. Then it goes through different scenes, and all the billboards show you the fake movies. So this one, for example, Escape from Sand Dunes. It's all fake, but you know, it's part of the story. So we've got a few. It was a good. Basically, this park it was an excuse to put down all the massive props and all the stuff that we don't ever really get to use, because it kind of fits in this park. So this was just, like I say, meant to sort of look like a movie set from this made-up film, and as these movie tour things generally have, show stops like this where little scenes play out. Now these aren't the most crazy sequences, I'll completely admit, but there's something in there. It gives you a bit of texture, a bit of fire, bit of action. And here's our shark from our made-up movie. We could have just used Jaws, I suppose, as the movie, but we were trying to make it all new and in-game in the in-game world, like this Cops 5 The City. Cracking movie, that one. So again, utilising all this stuff, which when are you ever going to use these pieces really, other than in car parks and backstage areas? And that was one of the good things actually about the movies pack. It gave us loads of backstage stuff, and little pieces that we can just use for like actually decent things. But in this park it fits, it all works. And we just had to stuck these buildings around. I think there are some billboards, yeah, you can just see them at the back to try and give depth. In the night it's a better effect, but for now I just wanted to show this ride off in the daytime with it being outdoors. Some of the dark rides, which we'll go on later, we do switch to night mode, and also at the end of the video there's a few little shots of the park at night. So here we go into Apocalypto. This was my favourite area of this ride, kind of inspired by, I don't know, Waterworld, Mad Max, that sort of thing. And this was, again, imagine you're just sort of being attacked by people, tribes, big creatures. That was kind of the idea for this, because obviously the limitation with what they called animatronics, the smoke that you can just see in shot there was kind of to disguise the animatronics, and then the big reveal. It's the best we could do. And then a lot of fire and explosion budget on this section, which is not exactly very realistic, but you know, it is what it is. The pieces are in the game, let's use them. So yeah, like I said, kind of like end of the world tribe kind of movie, which yeah, I was very happy with that section. I don't believe I made that structure. I'm pretty sure that was a what's it called, blueprint. I'm not trying to claim ownership of most of this stuff, by the way. So this section, the last bit of this ride, was just a little pirate scene. Revenge of Lockjaw or something, I think it was called. It was on the sign. So just a little pirate battle to end the ride. There's not really a show stop on this one, but again, quite a big grand end scene. So yeah, all in all, very basic stuff. I'm sure you've seen basically anyone who made a Studios park will have done something similar to that back in the day. But that was mine, and that was the Studio Tram Tour. So back into the park then. This was the grand stage that is currently showing the vintage band. So there they are. It's, yeah, exciting. Okay, carrying on to the left-hand side of the park first. We come to our first attraction that is unfinished. In this big mansion that you can see in front of us, this houses the Tower of Terror dark ride, the drop dark ride track elevator thing that they put in the game. Certain scenes inside there I did do, and it's kind of very haunted house themed, but it's not finished. It's nowhere near ready, so I'm not even going to show you inside it. Over here we've got a Spinferno, a little flat ride. Again, loads of fire. This park has got a mental fire budget, but again, it's what it is. Over here into the sci-fi area. This again was unfinished as an area, but the main bulk of the coaster was finished, which we'll show you in a second. So that was X-Scope, that's one of the flat rides, and this is Mission 77, heavily inspired by Space Mountain. And to do this one justice, let's jump into the dark, eh? This is a spinning coaster, which is kind of taking inspiration from, like I said, Space Mountain, and Crusher's coaster is kind of what we're going for here, and that's why it has this little outdoor turnaround helix right at the start, which I quite like, to sort of get you ready for the launch. And I think anything where you gives a little outdoor area, and especially on a coaster, gets a bit of kinetic energy into the park, considering most of this park is dark rides. So into the launch pad. Very basic stuff, quite a big warehouse and just a bit of lighting effects. Again, inspired by Space Mountain, but I think I made it a little bit too big. But that's just generally the issue with Planet Coaster. And then the bulk of the ride is basically this, in stars, and it's kind of this, stars and smoke. We never really finished off fully the inside, but that is kind of the gist of what we're going for. And then further down past that coaster, at the moment, it's just unfinished path. So over into the right-hand side of the park now then. One of my favourite buildings I've ever done in Planet Coaster was the Back to the Future Clock Tower building. I love this building. I made it from scratch, obviously based on reference, but I love doing this one. Again, I'm sure loads of other people made similar things, but I was always really proud of this ride, because there's a lot of custom pieces I did in this, like the hoverboard and stuff like that. So we will jump on a little POV of this. You don't see much because it does whiz through quite quick, but what we did put together, this is probably my favourite coaster and dark ride that I made in this entire game over the sort of 5 or 6 years that we were playing it. And because it had full, like, a launch sequence, it has well, you'll see. You'll see. I'll let this one play out. That one we just whizzed past was my hoverboard that I made, which you see for like a fraction of a second. I think a couple of the billboards are not working as well as they once did, but most of them are in still, which is good. So yeah, obviously picture this being a bit darker and a lot more triggerable lights to sort of aim the eye, but it's the best we can do in the game with the lighting. But I was always really happy with that one, to be fair. I thought it was quite good. And then we ended the ride with another view of my building. So there's one indoors and one outdoors, and then just a very subtle effect here of the tyre marks from the ride. So yeah, I always really like that ride. It was one of my favourite ones I've ever done. So moving on into the rest of this Back to the Future area, we have the DeLorean Racers. This uses the go-karts, and as part of the Back to the Future DLC, you could ride around in little DeLoreans, so it made sense to utilise this. So very basic, just a few little buildings. That barn, which you can see there, the racetrack actually breaks through that, which we'll see in a minute. So again, just little props, train and that sort of thing to try and link it sort of to the movies. But again, this was kind of just a filler ride, just to fill out the park. But it was, yeah, I like the fact it went through the building. I should have added a bit more smoke and wood, I suppose, to that one, but it's what it is. And then we carry on moving over into the last area of the park, which the transition on the floor, you can tell, is into our adventure zone. And this ride is the Raging Spirits River Adventure. And this is utilising the rapids, which isn't something I often use. So this ride, the first half, I never finished doing the lighting pass, as you can see from this area. The lighting was the next thing I was going to do, never got around to it. It's fully themed trough we did on this one, a lot of rocks, a lot of scenes. Some are reusing the same like shark, but again, it is what it is. You're limited with exactly how much you can do. But yeah, we've got some scenes in here like that, a few animal props at the start just to get you in, and there is a bit of an indoor dark ride scene, which I did actually have to fix in whilst filming this video because some of the terrain had come into the ride area, so I don't know how that happened, but I fixed it for the video so you can see the effect it was supposed to be, but that's been blocked off for 5 years. So yeah, we've got a little bit of an animatronic in here, and then the big drop scene. This was the scene that was blocked by all this terrain. Was basically, it was all, you couldn't see any of it. So yeah, big skull, big fire, down into the lava. And back outside into the end scene of the ride. So like I said, this ride never got finished. There was lighting pass to do, which we never got around to. But all in all, not bad, pretty decent. I think it's quite nice. So that is Clapboard Studios, our movie studio park that we built many years ago. And it was quite fun looking around that one, actually. This one I was quite happy with at the time, and it actually did really well on the channel. So maybe we'll go back into this one and finish it off at some point. I don't know. Let me know down below if it's something you want to see. We might do. We've got a few months to go. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm sure we'll venture into a few more parks over the next couple of weeks and have a look through some of the other stuff we've done, because it's exciting to look back on the old stuff, and it's been a while. It's been a while. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give us a like down below. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the content, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.